Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Coppin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Oh, we're live. Yeah, so we're here humming away, Jason. What time is it? Oh, 7:39. I'm feeling fine for 7:39.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I have to ask you a quick question.
All right.
Jason Bay with us today, as always, here on a Thursday. You know, Wednesday nights are so much fun. We'll talk about our Wednesday night life here and just how much fun it is. You know, for this community, there's you know, just an important night, not only for this church, but more importantly for people on Wednesday nights. But it's a long day on Wednesdays.
Yes, it is. It is very long.
And you're about 25 minutes from here. And
yeah.
I started thinking about that. Man, you were leaving here a little bit later because we usually don't wrap up till 7:30. Folks sit around, chat sometimes till 7:45.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll give you credit. Yesterday, you were, which was good. You needed that.
Well, see, what you don't understand is I drive the bus on Wednesday.
Oh, no, that's right. So that's why you were.
Every Wednesday, I have to we have to leave here at 7:35 to get where we need to be at 8 o'clock so that they can pick the kids up that ride the bus. So it's a very long day. Oh. Now, last week I didn't drive the bus because I had a funeral, and so someone else drove the bus for me because I wasn't able to make the pickup time. But yeah, we drive the bus over to. Well, it's an interesting story. I should tell it. My son, whenever he was in school, my youngest son, he would on Wednesday nights. This was before I was pastor here. I was pastor at Dodge, First Baptist Church Dodge, and so you know, like what we teach our kids is what everybody should do is, you know, we ought to be missionaries wherever we are. Invite people to come to church. Tell people about Jesus, but all of my kids are like that. But so him being the oldest kind of paved the way for the rest, and he started just inviting his friends to church. So we had a 15-passenger van, and we would fill that van up and go to the school and then take them to church. So when we came here, they didn't have a Wednesday night program. And so I said, well, we better start one because we have been doing this all along. And so he continued to invite people to church. We outgrew the van, so then we had to use the church van. We outgrew that. We bought a bus. We outgrew that bus, and now we have a larger bus that we go to every Wednesday to pick kids up at Richards ISD. That's where my kids go to school. And so they pick them up from there. And then we have another bus that goes to Alpha and picks kids up, and we will go to every school if need be. But that's how all that started, and that's how I ended up driving the bus, because we were at first I was just picking up my kids and his friends. And then as time went by, they just invited more and more people and packed the bus out. So that's how it starts.
Fill the bus.
That's right.
Way to do it.
That's right.
So I didn't even think about that. I'm sitting here in my own little world, and I didn't get it. I needed to get into Jason Bay's world for a minute. So on Wednesday night after, are you driving the bus, then coming all the way back here, then getting your car and going back home?
So the way we used to do it, this is back in the day, we would bring all the kids here and then drive them back and drop them off at their houses. And that took forever. I wasn't getting home till like 9:30, 10 o'clock on Wednesday nights.
Wow.
And so then we changed it. We had 2 drop-off locations. We had one in West Sandy area out there off of 1791, and the other one out at having issues.
No, you're fine.
Right? And the other one at the school. And that still, I didn't get back to like 9:15 or so. But now what we do is we leave here and we drive back to the old Westway Baptist Church. Westway is right there off Highway 30. And the parents meet us there. When they meet us there, we drop them off there, and then Rodney's gracious enough to bring the bus back to the church, and I just leave there and go home. So I get home at a reasonable time now, usually about 8:30.
That's still a long day, but it's a good day.
It is a long day, and then Thursday mornings get here pretty quick.
Yeah, and then you're like, I got to be on that show. What did I get into over here? This 4th-rate production.
No.
Although it steps up to a 3rd-rate production when you're.
No.
Well, that's cool. Well, friends, we want to welcome you in as we get rolling this morning. Want to welcome all of you in joining us across the social media platforms. We are here, episode number 358, as we continue that march to 365. I don't know what the importance of 365 is. Just a year. I'm kind of excited about.
Well, that's cool, man.
365 episodes.
An investment.
So we are trucking along here. Welcome in this morning. Big shout out as always to Paul, the gallery. Paul, we love you, man, for all of your custom framing, photography, and more. Go see my really good friend, Paul Oley, at the Gallery 1201 University. Also a special shout out to Elliot Herzlich of Elliot's Jewelers and online at elliotsjewelers.com. Friends, do us a favor this morning. Like and share this broadcast so we can continue to promote good in our community. This show exists to uplift and inspire folks every morning. And I know sometimes I get on here, well, not sometimes, all the time, I get on here and ramble on. But, we ramble on in a good way. We talk about good things that are happening here. And we want you to know that this show is an interactive show. So those of you that are already on social media feeds, many of you are already commenting in this morning. Do that. Maybe you've been watching for a long time and you've never commented in. Just type in a simple hi or hello and hit enter. And we won't embarrass you, we promise. But do us a favor also and like and share this broadcast. If you're joining us on YouTube, there's a subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe, and you'll be notified as well whenever we go live. Speaking of Elliot's Jewelers, we are continuing our Diamonds of Hope campaign. It's been a while since we've had a few donations on these. We still have quite a few boxes remaining of these very beautiful diamond pendants and diamond earrings. Friends, is $319 value, and for just a suggested donation of only $100 or more, this could be yours today. All proceeds will go to benefit our friends at Care Center Huntsville. And so, again, we would love for you to be a part of this campaign. We're trying to raise $2,000 for Care Center Huntsville. Jackie Barham and the great folks over there do such a wonderful job helping women that may be lost, maybe trying to find direction or resources. We had Jackie on a few weeks ago, and we wanted to continue that. So you can go to our website at hellohuntsvilletx.com. Maybe you've heard me talk about this for the last week or two. Today's the day. You feel that tug, get on the website, make that donation, and let's support a great organization here in our community. Jason, I wanted to circle back to a week ago. I had a great interview with Bobby Williams, and really enjoyed having him on. a lot of great things happen at the university. You know, we have Bobby on, and then Sam Houston goes on, has another terrific game, taking care of business yet again. I go back to that ball game versus New Mexico State. Man, that was a team last year that won the conference 7-1, and Sam Houston handed it to them. And now here we are, you know, on the heels coming up of NRG Stadium and Texas State. That's a rivalry renewed because both these teams used to be in the conference back in the day. And, man, I'm excited about this.
Yeah,
I think there's so much momentum heading in, not just to the university, but think about the benefit to the community for how well the university is promoting all these things.
Yeah, I must tell the truth here. You know, when I heard they were moving up to D1, I was a little bit concerned about how they would fare, you know, especially the first year being in the new conference, and they were so successful in the old conference and, you know, national championship contenders every single year. And I was concerned about, you know, how's this going to balance out? But, man, they proved me wrong and a lot of other people wrong, and I think it proves it was a great move. And the exposure the program is getting and the school is getting, which, like you said, only benefits the community as a whole, is phenomenal. I'm so excited for what's happening here at the university, and it is due to some very good people over there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And here's the deal, 6 games and you get a bowl game. So Sam Houston maybe headed to the Cheetos Bowl or something, you know. I don't know what these bowls you know, any bowl would be fine with me.
Yeah, no kidding.
The fun one was the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah.
That a friend of mine, Jeff Colhane, is the voice of Florida State now, and he was at the Cheez-It Bowl. When I was up in Fargo, he used to be the voice of the Bison. We call him Cully. We had Cully on the sports show we did to give us some insight into the Cheez-It Bowl. And I was asking him, how many Cheez-Its are you eating this week?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, those big Power 5 conferences, when they go to these bowl games, Cully sent us a picture. Man, it looked like they were dining at with King Arthur, man. The long table, candles, food. I mean, it was just overflowing.
Wow.
I'm like, how do we get that thing set up? We got the FLC over there, Jason. We got a long gymnasium in there. We just need to put a row for Thanksgiving. That's what we need to do this year. Instead of individual tables, let's just do a long row of tables. And, it'll be like that Richie Rich movie with the little where he has an intercom where he talks to his parents at the other end. Yeah. I think that'd be all right, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Hey, a lot of you are chiming in this morning, too, and this was some great questions as we continue on this morning. Steph Valley over at Magnolia Kennel, she said, where do we physically pick up the earrings and necklace, by the way? It's not just earrings. It's earrings and necklace, and make the donation. Very good point, because we've been doing this online, and I didn't even think about this. You can come in physically here to First Baptist Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Miss Molly will know how to take care of you. She's at the front desk. You just come through the portage. Did you know that was a word, Jason?
No.
Billy Cawthon taught me that.
Really?
Portage is a covered pavilion. So
I just call it the office entrance.
it's a little easier, yeah. I'm trying to spice it up a little. Come through First Baptist, the portage on the side of the building. No, come to the carport where the office is.
Right, there you go.
Drive under, and Molly is there, and you can come by. And if you want to make a check, and just make those, you can make that check out. If you want to make it out directly to Care Center Huntsville, you can. You're more than welcome to do that. Or you can make it out to Hello Huntsville, whatever you'd like to do. If you make it out to Care Center Huntsville, I believe there's probably some tax benefits to that as well. But you can make it out to them or us. Or if you just want to bring by a $100 bill, you can do that. Now, that's the suggested minimum donation. You can obviously donate more if you would like, and we have those. So, yeah, if you want to come by the church physically and pick that up, we'd love for you to. And, again, every dime will go to our friends at Care Center Huntsville. Thank you, Stephanie. That was a really important question. Pastor, let's take our first break. Jason will take our first break, and then we will come back, and we'll talk about more things happening in the community. Very important event happening tonight. I'm kind of sad I won't get to make it to this wonderful event that's taking place, but we'll talk about that, and we've got a little bit more. Also, a little bit later in the show,
news you can use.
In a news segment, news you can lose.
Yes. It probably one and the same.
We'll take a quick break. Stay with us, friends, as we continue celebrating good. Hey, keyword continues this week. It's cookies. Do you know why this is, Jason? You haven't. I know you're in the mornings. You're pretty busy, and so you haven't kept up with why the keyword's cookies.
No, let's hear it.
So I've been telling our friends at Walker County Federal for quite some time I was going to get them an Otis Spunkmeyer cookie.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor Humphrey He was listening in, and Mayor said it was on a Sunday service. I was looking down at my phone because I got a notification. You probably looked at me like, man, you better get off your phone, Rob. I looked down at my phone. Guess what there was? There was a message from Mayor Humphrey. Karen Denman was in it with me. It was a link to Facebook Marketplace. Somebody was selling the Otis Spunkmeyer oven. That's a cookie oven. It was in Richards. Some new folks moved out there. I drove out there. Kind of misleading. Have you ever bought anything off the internet? I'm sure Kim maybe has.
Yes, definitely.
You know how some of those things are misleading?
Yes, I do.
Like, oh, brand new, never used, and you get out there. Or gently used.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm gently used, man. I'm falling apart. You know, I could fib on. Well, it was apparently gently used. I go out, and it wasn't bad, but it was in storage, so it was very dirty. Some of the screws were rusted a little bit, so I did a minimal cleaning of it. And then Karen and Denise at Walker County Federal, they finally told, just bring the oven and we'll clean the rest of it. So I bought it for them. I brought it up here. They have taken the oven. They have cleaned it. It is ready to go. And apparently on Friday, Credit Union Cookies.
That is great.
Credit
man.
Union
See
cookies.
what you're doing, Rob?
So
you're just making all kinds of improvements to this community.
No, I'm adding weight to this community is what I'm doing. So the key word this week is cookies. Friday, head over to Walker County Federal Credit Union. You can get you some cookies. And all you got to do is text in the keyword cookies today, 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. I'm giving away a little bit of money today. And so all you got to do is text in cookies on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line to 936-339-0139. Again, that number, 936-339-0139. As always, our Thankful Thursday is brought to you by First Baptist. Come join us. It is the Harbor of Hope here in Huntsville with Bible studies for all ages every Sunday starting at 9:30, service at 10:45. Jason will get you out by noon, especially if the Cowboys are playing.
Tonight.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that because they're probably going to be 1-3 after tonight. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Stay with us. More to come as we continue on. This is Good Morning Huntsville here on a Thankful Thursday. Stay with us.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life.
Welcome to Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville, where we've been caring for your furry family members for over 4 decades. Nestled at 877 IH 45 South, our kennel is a perfect retreat for your pet. With a climate-controlled facility, spacious exercise yards, we ensure a comfortable and enjoyable stay. At Magnolia Kennel, we offer a range of options including overnight boarding, extended stay boarding, and doggy day out. But that's not all. We also provide additional pampering services like baths and nail care to keep your pets looking and feeling their best. Making a reservation is a breeze at magnoliakennel.com. We take great pride in our dedication to the community, supporting our local fire departments by providing oxygen pet masks. Stay connected and enjoy adorable pet updates by following us on Facebook. Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville is where dogs get to be dogs. Visit us at magnoliakennel.com to book your pet's next stay. We can't wait to meet your 4-legged family members.
So, what's inside the mysterious little box?
What box? Oh, that box over there.
You went to Elliot.
Wait, don't open it yet. Oh, and yes, I went to see Elliot's Jewelers just a couple of days ago.
Inside the box, is it golden?
Well, I was a little concerned about the price of gold because it's high, but Elliot really helped me find something beautiful and monetarily agreeable.
Oh, well, hey, can I open it now, please?
Whoa, just a little longer. You have to at least wait until Christmas Day.
Oh, well, I can do that.
Elliot's Jewelers. Fine jewelry and engravable gifts. Schedule your appointment at elliotsjewelers.com. That's ELLIOTTS Jewelers.com.
Make sure there's something extra special inside the mysterious little box you give this season.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Jason Bay, the pastor at First Baptist Church, Huntsville, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
About 65 degrees this morning, Huntsville, as you're waking up. Beautiful morning outside, fair conditions. Even better, how about 83 for the high today?
Boy, that's nice.
Boy, we've just decided it's going to be so nice this weekend and tomorrow. We just closed down the church office tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
So office closed tomorrow. It's actually closed every Friday. I was trying to make it sound like we were doing something, Jason, but but no, beautiful morning outside. We have beautiful, beautiful weather all weekend long. Not a raindrop in sight. In fact, there is no rain through the next several days as we go into next week, Wednesday. Highs are going to remain in the upper 80s to low 90s. So we may be done with these blistering temperatures as we're starting to settle down. Fall right around the corner. When does fall officially start? We're not in it yet, are we?
I don't know. I'm not sure on those dates, but I can tell you, October has always been one of my favorite months of the year living here in this area because of the weather. gets cooler and you feel like going outside a little bit more. And I just love the beginning of fall and all the things that go along with it. It's just a great time of the year. Football's going strong. October's the month that I asked my wife to marry me, and so I love October.
During football month.
Yeah.
That's a real man right there. So you guys pay attention if you're asking. See, well, for me it was it was at Christmas. I remember I asked Bridget to marry me on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's great.
I was with the family, and I'll never forget. I was at her aunt's house, and their family. There's a bunch of them. They all meet together. And I remember talking to her dad, and her dad was all excited. And so I said, I'd like to do it at the Christmas Eve dinner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Or maybe it was a Christmas. Oh, I should know this. This is not good. Was it the Christmas? I think it was a Christmas Day dinner. It was one of those dinners.
Yeah.
It's around. Sorry, Bridget.
See, I just said month.
Yeah, you're smart.
You had to one-up me and take it down to the day.
No. I see. Now I've backed myself into this corner over here. But I'll never forget. And Bridget's dad always does the prayer. We always had tamales too.
Oh, really that's cool.
So we'd eat that. We'd eat in the evening. I think it was. Bridget, if you're watching, sweetheart, please help me out here. But it was in the evening, and I'll never forget. I asked her dad. I already asked him, months ago. And he said, yeah. And so long story short was I said, hey, do you mind if I do it like when we do the family prayer? He goes, yeah, that'd be great. And so Mr. Brennan started praying, and then he goes, well, Rob wants to also lead us in something. And so that's when I did it.
That's cool.
Pretty
that's
cool. Yeah.
Whenever I asked Kim to marry me, I had it all planned out. And I was living in Fort Worth at the time, and I was meeting her down here, and she was going to school at Texas A&M. And so I was meeting her at my mom's house. So I came back, and my intention was to stop by, and I had picked out the ring and everything. I was going to go pick the ring up and all this, to stop by her parents' house and, ask them for permission to marry their daughter and all that. Well, bear with me. And I knew her dad pretty well. I knew what the answer was going to be.
Yeah.
But and I wanted to tell him when I was going to do it and all that. So I swung by there, and they weren't there. I'm like, oh, great, here it goes. And so I'm like circling around their house, and they never go anywhere. I mean, they were older, and they
You're
just
pacing around the house on your feet.
I'm like, well, what's the deal? And so I finally called Kim, and I was like, and I had to make up because I was like, how am I going to ask Kim where they're at and then she may figure something out, but I can't remember what excuse I made up, but I made up some excuse about why I had to see where they were. And, and anyway, they had just went to the store somewhere, and they were coming back. So I got the chance to talk to them, and they were excited. And so came down and asked her to marry me at my house out in the pasture behind our house where we live today. So it was a great time of the year, and I always love October.
Fall, by the way, wonderful story. Guys, step it up a notch, myself included. Fall, by the way, officially September 22nd or 23rd. Depends on the fall equinox.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Quentin Glaze. Meteorologist, to make it easy for guys like me, maybe you. I'm pretty bad with forgetting things. September 1st is when meteorologists acknowledge fall has started, even though technically it's around the fall equinox.
Thank you for clearing that up.
And thanks to Quentin Glaze for shooting us the information. He even sent in the little emojis. Look at that. Got a little fall leaf and a couple little leaves there.
Yeah. And I got up this morning, and you can notice the days are starting to get shorter. You notice that it was darker this morning than it usually was when we get up at this time, and a lot of wildlife moving about. It's just a fun time of the year. The grass is greener. It's nice.
Did want to give an update real quick. This doesn't affect us, but maybe it affects some friends. I wasn't even tracking this until a couple of days ago. I did not realize how serious the situation is becoming down the Gulf Coast with Hurricane Helene. Right now, this will be forecast as a major hurricane that is expected to slam the Florida coast coming up here on Thursday night. So later tonight, this thing is going to start picking up some steam. Right now, it is located a few hundred miles off the coast there of Florida, right in the area of Tallahassee. This thing is going to possibly be a major Category 3, maybe even a low Cat 4, with winds predicted 115 to 120 to 30 miles per hour as it makes landfall. Right now, the wind is already at 100 miles an hour. But again, expected to pick up a lot of steam here later today, and it will make landfall a little bit overnight, so early Friday morning. Prayers are with those folks in Florida. The meteorologists, and I was sitting here thinking, because they said this is going to be a record hurricane year, and we didn't see much. Now, of course, they say that, and what happens? Beryl comes right through Huntsville. But just thoughts and prayers go out to our friends there in Florida. I've got some friends in that area. In fact, I just mentioned Jeff Colhane is in that area, who's the broadcaster for Florida State University. So
I heard they moved that game, by the way.
Yeah.
They were scheduled to have that in Tallahassee, and they moved it to Dallas. They were playing SMU.
Yeah, they're going to move that, and because of this, and so just kind of a heads up there. It's so eerie watching the Weather Channel last night, because I'm watching this, and the meteorologists, they have them staged all throughout that area, even as far north as upstate Georgia, because some of those areas are expected to have a lot of rain and wind, hurricane force winds, even possibly up into Georgia, is how powerful this thing will be. I didn't think about this. The pecan industry is huge. You think of peaches, right? You always think of peaches with Georgia. Not only the peaches, but the pecan industry is huge. A lot of agriculture. We think here in Texas, we're the ag king. Well, there's other places too.
Yeah.
There was interviews with several farmers that are just absolutely worried about this, because especially these pecan farmers, because they said when these storms come in, rare as they are, but when they do come, they will knock out the pecan harvest, not just for that season, but for 3, 4, even 5 years down the road, because those trees get decimated, and it takes them that long to regrow and rejuvenate. So, man, that's just tough to think about. Not only the Florida coastline, but all these other states as well.
Yeah, really.
So just wanted to bring that up. Really important event happening tonight. Many of you are going to be a part of this. I had said earlier I'm not going to be able to make it, unfortunately. I wish I could. The invitation was extended, and I really wanted to be there tonight and support my friend Russell Humphrey, great mayor of our community. But I have our coaches show every Thursday as well with New Waverly, and so I'll be there at that. And then by the time I wrap that up and come back, it's just a lot of going, and it would be hard on Bridget tonight for me to get away and for someone to watch the kids. So I'm going to have to pass on this one. I hate to miss that, but going to be a very exciting event. And I just wanted to take a moment and just say thank you to our mayor and to all of those that are helping to make this a possibility and a reality. It's the inaugural Mayor's Ball. What's cool about this, Jason, is the funds that are raised are going back to some nonprofits, including CASA.
That's great.
So really fun event. And I made the executive decision after, I called Linda to confirm the executive decision. They asked if they could use our parking lot tonight for valet parking.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Yeah.
I said, I'll say yes, but let me call our church administrator.
Oh, you didn't need to do that, Rob. You know the answer's always yes.
So Linda said yes. So they're going to have valet parking and everything tonight.
That's great, man.
So,
and have you checked out the progress they've made on City Hall lately? I drive by there every morning, and every day there's a little bit more done over there. And boy, talk about an improvement from the old City Hall. That thing is huge, and it looks great. I'm thankful that they decided to keep it in the downtown area.
I am going to miss the old bricks of the old City Hall, though.
Yeah.
When you walk on the floor. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You probably never walked over.
I've been over there a few times.
So they have these old brown bricks, and they put the wax on it like 5 inches thick.
Oh, yeah.
There was something about those bricks that reminded me of my doctor's office growing up, because that was like the style back then.
Yeah.
They'd put these old brown bricks as floor. They'd cover them, they'd put gloss over them and then wax.
Yeah, I do
wax
remember
them
that
crazy.
now that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm going to miss those. I'm going to miss that old brick floor over there.
Well, maybe they can set aside one section just for you.
Just a little square foot of it. So. Well, all right, friends, let us know you're out there as we continue on this morning. Jason Bay here at First Baptist with us on a Thankful Thursday, and it is now time for
News You Can Use. All right, well, I have just a few things that I wanted to bring to your attention, but the first one I thought that you might be interested in, if you haven't heard about this already. Have you heard about the UNLV quarterback?
No, I have not.
Oh, man, this is really interesting. It's really in the age that we are approaching on with the NIL. It's revolutionary. UNLV, by the way, has started 3-0, and which is really good for them. Their program has been down, and now they're on the up and up.
That's at University of Nevada at Las Vegas, right?
Yes. Okay. And anyway, Matthew Sluka, he is the quarterback, and he's a first-year quarterback there. And they've, like I said, he's had a great beginning to his career. But now he says that he is going to refuse to play, and he's going to take a red shirt. You have to declare your red shirt by the fourth game. This will be the fourth game. So he's going to declare a red shirt on this next game and sit out the rest of the season because the university promised him in the NIL $100,000, and they haven't paid him, and so he's made the decision, essentially like an NFL player would, to sit out the remainder of the year since he hasn't received his money. That is very interesting, because you can only imagine that other players may do the same thing, and it just kind of paves the way for what we're seeing in college athletics. It's becoming more and more like the pros, the way that people are expected to get paid. I think it's interesting because, by the way, I did a little bit of research in this, and the average quarterback in the major conferences makes, in their NIL deal, makes about $100,000. Now, the major colleges, like the top, what they call it, the top five or tier.
Power Five.
Yeah, the Power Five quarterbacks can make up to $800,000 a year. So, I mean, I can understand it is a changing landscape of college athletics, there's no doubt, with the NIL. I think in some ways it's due for them to make enough. Some of these athletes come from a very poor background, and college is very expensive just to the day-to-day things. And so a lot of those athletes are then pressured to go into the NFL as soon as possible. So this can benefit them by allowing them to stay at the collegiate level longer. But when money always messes things up.
Yeah.
And I think the major problem with this is that there's no oversight. It's just, like they said, it's just word of mouth. Hey, we'll pay you $100,000 if you come here. That was the deal that they had. It was nothing on paper. It was just word of mouth. And then when they don't follow through, now he's going to sit out for the remainder of the season.
Can I say something very unpopular as a former college broadcaster?
That's why I brought it up. I knew you would.
I am losing – and I know, look, locally here, I love Sam. I'm not saying it because we're friends with folks at the university and we're in this community. I'm thankful that our university isn't one of those big-tier universities. We had to make that move at Sam Houston to stay relevant. You just had to. There was no way around it. And the landscape is changing, and it's either you get on the train or you get left behind and you go backwards. We had to move forwards. Outside of smaller schools like a Sam Houston, like a Texas State, like the HBCUs, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Now HBCUs are still FCS. I'm not a fan of college athletics anymore. I'm really not, Jason. I have lost the excitement that there used to be before NIL.
It really has made things confusing.
It's turned into a money grab, and it's turned into almost whoever has the most money is going to end up having the best team eventually. And it has created so much diversity now, and in good ways, like you said, helping folks. There's always pros and cons to everything. But I also think that it has created this breakup of unity in the college football landscape. I'm not a fan of it. I think that the implications 10 years down the road are going to come back and bite the NCAA in the tail end. And I just think it's taken away the flair of what college athletics was. When money gets involved in everything and anything, it starts to convolute the situation. It starts to make things a little foggy, if you will. Think about that. If you took money out of the equation, now as believers, we live to serve Christ. That's what I love about this. That's what I love about being a Christian. As a believer, our purpose is to grow in the Lord and to lead other people to Jesus Christ, to find hope and joy that only comes through Him. But if you take that out of the equation, which you can't, but if you do, what do people live for? They live for money. Take money out of the equation, what's left to live for?
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it really makes the college athletics basically, a minor league program is what it is. It's basically a minor league to the NFL.
Farm league to the NFL.
It basically is. But what it hurts, I think, is it hurts the smaller colleges and universities around the states, and that don't have that big collective that we see that the A&Ms, the University of Texas has, the Alabamas, the California teams, and you name it. And I do think if they don't put some sort of regulations on it, it's really going to make it where the teams with the most money have the best players. And then there's no loyalty amongst the team anymore.
There isn't right now.
Yeah, you used to go to A&M because you wanted to be an Aggie, or you went to the University of Texas because you wanted to be a Longhorn.
Now you go because they're going to pay you the most.
They're going to pay you the most. And if they don't, what happens the next year? Next year you're gone. Or every year they're renegotiating their contracts like they are in the NFL. There's got to be some sort of oversight board that regulates this to make it fair and to make it open, where people actually know, hey, this is what this athlete's worth, or this position's worth. So it's not it's apples to apples, and you're not just throwing darts at a board to try to figure out what do we have to pay this guy essentially to get him in here.
Maybe another hot topic is, can I say that I'm bored watching sports nowadays? I just became bored watching sports. It's just, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's getting older and your priorities change with having children and all that. Not that I don't find joy or entertainment out of it, but I just feel like it is the same thing every year. And I'm talking more of the professional level. The college level, there's still some excitement, though, despite NIL, because these kids are getting opportunities to grow and mature as adults. But then you get into the pros, and it's the same thing every year. What are you doing every year? You start out with fall camp. I'm talking all sports, especially football, though. You start out with some sort of a fall camp or training. Then you have the little preseason. Then you go play your games. And then either you win or you lose. If you win, you go on to the playoffs, and you play for a championship. If you don't get in, then you start it all over. It's just a cycle that just keeps going and going and going.
And then you throw the money into it as well, where these guys are sitting out, the camps. They're negotiating for more and more money. They're not going to play until they get their contract. I mean, it's really ugly, the whole thing. So
I love what Steph Valley just said. She said they're opening up such a big can of worms for so many things. What happened to the good old days of scholarships? And it was based on education. Now they're just making it another sport. I was at a men's event, and there was a former NFL receiver that was at this event that was speaking. And he said, I was a former NFL receiver. He goes, wait a minute. Don't y'all start thinking I got a bunch of money. He said, I didn't have no money back then.
Back in the day, it was completely different, wasn't it?
He said, we played ball on Sundays and we sold insurance. A lot of NFL guys were insurance or car salesmen back in the day.
I know it. It was a different day. And they're basically now, it's not even about the sport. They're basically entertainers. And they realize that coming in. They want to build a brand. They're looking at their entertainment value for commercial production and after the football. It is. These guys become entertainers in a sense.
You know who would have probably – I'm wondering who started all this, and I haven't spent time researching it. But I wonder – obviously someone at the NCAA caught wind of something somewhere and got together with a group of people, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. There's been discussions of this for many, many years that college players should be paid for their play.
Yeah.
So, but I'm wondering, what was really the tipping point for it?
Yeah.
The first person that comes to mind to me?
Who?
Johnny Manziel.
If he got paid, think how much money he would have been
He would have probably been the highest paid college athlete.
Yeah. No question.
I know he had his troubles, but I'm going to tell you what, first and foremost, I'm a Baylor fan. Second, I'm an Aggie, and then way down there somewhere in the list is the burnt orange. It's like way down there, okay? You have to I have just a little inkling of the burnt orange.
That's fine.
But it's more green and maroon for me. But here's the deal. I used to love watching Johnny Manziel play. It was just entertaining watching that guy on the college field.
It was entertaining, and you could. This guy. If he would have applied himself, this is a whole other topic. But can you imagine? Can you imagine what he could have? And I don't know if you watched that 30 for 30 on him, but they had one on him, and he was kind of looking back and saying, "Man, how much." the talent that he wasted, just chasing after things he shouldn't have been chasing after. It's a lesson. And you think about this, by the way, not only we're talking about money with this NIL deal, but we're talking about 18-year-old kids. I mean, I have a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. And you throw this kind of money around to, you're talking about these, like I said, the Power 5 conference, these quarterbacks are making the upwards of $800,000 a year. Boom. What does that do to their life? I mean, it's a dangerous recipe is all I can say, is when you introduce people to that kind of money at that age and not setting them up for success. I just feel like, I know this had to come up, and I do feel like there has to be a way where these guys can benefit from their name, image, and likeness, but I do think there really needs to be some sort of regulation on it. There has to be some sort of oversight and some sort of way of making the system fair, because it really is not fair when you're talking about Sam Houston State University trying to recruit athletes at a D1 level and comparing that across the board
can't win.
No, even schools of the same size that are in different parts of the country that have they're very affluent alumni base. Think what they could do. I mean, they could. The sky's the limit. Whatever you can afford.
There's only one NIL that I care to follow. That's the name, image, and likeness of Jesus
Amen.
Christ.
Praise the Lord.
So that's
All
the
right.
only NIL that I'm about.
Yes.
All right, Jason, what else we got?
Changing the subject drastically. Delish magazine came out with the most unhealthy fast food fries in America, according to a very new study.
Please don't say it's the red and yellow, because I ate them yesterday.
They're on the list, but they're way down on the list.
Okay.
I was surprised. I would ask you to guess the number one most unhealthy French fries at fast food chains, but I know that you probably never get it. But I will say they used to have a place here in Huntsville, but they're no longer here. Hamburger place. Used to be here in Huntsville, no longer here.
Can you give me a hint? Is it Hardee's?
No, it used to be here just last year, over by Whataburger in that area.
Hold on.
They're no longer here.
A burger place that was over there?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Wendy's.
No.
Can you give me like a hint?
It has a number in the name.
A number in the name?
Yes. She got it.
Five Guys?
Yeah, Five Guys. The most
We had a
unhealthy.
Five Guys here in Huntsville?
Yeah. Where have you been? That's why they're out of business. You never went.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, I did for a while, I didn't know that. So they're the number one, according to this.
Number one unhealthy fries, and just some others that have mentioned, like KFC made number 5 on the list.
Fries? It sounds like they'd be baked in chicken grease.
Sonic was tied for number 8, most unhealthy. Wendy's tied for number 11th.
Can we take a pause real quick? Sonic, are you a Sonic guy?
Yeah, I like Sonic. Okay, I mean, by the way, there was another article that I was going across. You know how much fast food has increased over? Have you thought about this? The price of fast food, how much it's increased over the past few years?
I know, because so I used to go to Taco Bell frequently. That's where this started. That's where all my gut problems started, where my acid reflux started. Probably have a hole in my esophagus. I used to get the cheesy not the cheesy gordita crunch. They used to have the gorditas, just the regular gorditas. They had a gordita combo. You'd get 2 gorditas and a taco, a hard shell taco, a drink, and then I'd always add in a bean burrito with sour cream. 2 gorditas, a taco, that's a lot of food, a bean burrito, sour cream, and a drink, right? You know what it used to be? I used to order it almost every day. It was bad. It was really bad when I was young.
How much?
$4.19.
There you go.
Now they don't even have that on the menu, but you can sub it, and they'll do it sometimes. It depends on which taco. I get annoyed. I go to the same Taco Bell once in a while, and I'll say, hey, can I get this? And it's this chalupa combo, and I'll say, can you swap out the chalupas with gorditas? Oh, we can't do that. And then the next day I'll go, and it's a girl working. Oh, sure, sir, we can do that. It's like there's no consistency. So, and it's probably been 2 years since I've gotten that. By the way, I don't eat there a whole lot anymore. The last time I got that, you know how much that same meal was?
How much?
Like $15.
That's what I'm talking about. I went to, I won't say the place. I went to a local place. It's it's fast food, but a little above fast food, if you know what I'm talking about. It's not like drive-through, but it's a little step above that.
It's got just a little bouge to it, a little bougie.
It's not just fast food, but it's fast food.
It's like you want to wear. You can't wear shorts in there, but you can wear slacks. Is what you're saying.
You can wear shorts definitely.
Okay.
$20. I got like a sandwich, some fruit, and a drink. $20.
I know of a place that has a sandwich, fruit, and a drink, and it involves chicken.
Anyway, so what were you going to say about Sonic?
I was going to say that we're positive on this show.
Yeah,
but
always.
It just ain't your grandma's Sonic anymore. Whataburger's just not your grandma's Whataburger anymore. There's something that's changed in the food that I remember as a kid, man, I used to love Sonic. And now, maybe it's, post-COVID, there's been some weird things. Like, one, my smell hasn't came back all the way. People think, well, that's great, because I used to say I can't really smell dirty diapers. Someone told me that's great. I said, no, it's not, because God intended for things that are harmful to smell bad.
Yeah.
That means danger, right?
Yeah.
Usually it means danger.
Right.
Point in case, natural gas coming out of a stove.
Yeah.
When we used to live at Brookview, we had a gas stove. I never did this, and one day I forgot and accidentally left it on. The pilot light wasn't working. Guess what happens? Gas. Bridget says, I smell gas all in this house. That could have been devastating.
Yeah.
I didn't smell it. Used to smell it all the time because my grandmother had a gas stove. I'd know when it was on. But there's just something that's changed in Sonic, and there's something that's changed in Whataburger. And my buddy, it's funny you're talking about this because my buddy Nathan and I, we were at a football game. We were talking about this. Michelle was with us. We ended up going to Jack in the Box. Whatever. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a big fan of Jack in the Box. But we go, and Nathan goes, well, I just don't like Whataburger anymore. It just don't taste the same. I'm sitting there thinking, you know what, Nathan, you're kind of right. Don't taste the same. Their fries are good, though.
Michelle, mark this date down. Thursday, September 26th, Rob has officially become an old man. Football's not the way it used to be.
Can you
anymore.
believe that?
Whenever I was a kid, it was so good. Oh, Whataburger's not like it used to be. Sonic's, it was so much better when I was a kid.
Can you believe that guy that was speeding in front of the church this morning? I had a shovel in the back of my truck. I started waving it at him. I said, you slow down.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, that's good stuff, Jason.
Yeah, we definitely need to mark this day down.
Oh, all right.
All right. The last thing that I have is Reader's Digest came out with in their award-winning production, especially catered to.
I'm a subscriber, by the way.
Yes,
I subscribe to the Reader's Digest.
Yes. I thought about this. They had a little section there, and I thought it was pretty cool about fears that we have that are unwarranted fears. Fears that we carry maybe from childhood. I want you to start thinking of one maybe that you have that's really an unwarranted fear. So this one person wrote that they had, as a kid, I heard stories of snapping turtles who ate my grandmother's pet ducks. One day I was in a rowboat with my aunt, occasionally dipping my hand into the lake. Suddenly there was a huge snapping turtle inches away from my hand. I've been scared of them ever since. So one person was scared of snapping turtles. Now this other person said that they have an irrational fear of sunflowers. This is largely because I accidentally wandered into a huge patch of them on my aunt's farm when I was a kid and couldn't find my way out. So there's all sorts of unwarranted fears that we have as children that we carry along with us. What do you have, Rob?
Am I allowed to mention this? I guess you asked me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Growing up, I was scared of toilets. What was the deal back in the day with everybody having that weird cloth over the toilet seat? You know what I'm talking about? The long, carpety look. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, everybody had those. Did y'all have that growing up?
No.
I don't know what it was, but I guess it was something weird with our family. All of our family members had the cover that went over the toilet seat. And you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like the long, shaggy, carpet-looking cover.
Yeah.
Well, we had one that was blue, and when you would look at that toilet from the side where the seat came down, it looked like teeth. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's that little thing that like keeps it from the bowl. And man, I just remember as a child, it used to scare me. I thought it was a monster. I said, "What is that monster in there?" And I used to have this fear. Now I won't go into details, but if I had a fear that like snakes and claws would come out of the toilet. So what happens? This is the most vivid. This is the earliest dream that I can ever remember in my life. I had a dream that I was at a toilet pet store. All right, this is that people are going to think, man, what were you eating when you were a kid? All right, or who were you around? There was none of that. I will never forget this. It's still the most vivid dream when I was a child. The first dream that I remember. There was all these little toilets in these cages, all right? Little ones, big ones. And I was with my brother's friend, and he goes, go over here and pet this one. And
House
it was
of horrors.
Yeah, you think about that. And it was this little toilet. It was this little toilet with that shaggy blue carpet in a cage. And he told me to put my finger there, and it bit my finger off. Why did I dream that? And why did I have that? And that, that fear of like, I'm not a fan of public restrooms. I'll just throw that out there. Maybe that's why, because that fear. Now, thank the good Lord for Buc-ee's, man. They have just taken it to a whole nother level.
They sure have.
But isn't that awkward that is my fear growing up?
My son, he's that way, but it's the high pressure toilets. You know what I'm talking about, where you flush it. And I know what he's thinking. I'm getting off this thing before anybody touches that button. And some of them, they're governed by light. So if they're made where you get up off the toilet and it automatically flushes. You know what I'm talking about? So he's on there one day and the light hits that thing right, just right, and it goes whoom, down like that, and he jumps off that thing. So I'm sure for the rest of his life, he's going to be having nightmares of the toilet as well. My daughter, she has a fear of being separated from us. Now, this happened when we were, a few years ago, we took a family vacation down to San Antonio. We rode one of those river boats. You ever rode one of those?
Yeah. By the way, the river's not very deep. I used to think it was like 50 feet. You could probably walk in the river.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd want to. Anyway, we were down there, and we got on one of those river boats. We got off, and it was a huge crowd of people. The river walk is just, at certain times of the day, is packed. And she got out ahead of us, and she got with she thought it was me walking ahead, and she got with somebody else, and she was just following them. And we got all off, and Kim says, well, where's Hannah? Where's Hannah? And she looked around, and we didn't find her. And then all of a sudden we heard her screaming down there, and she realized that she was away. It was just, maybe 30 seconds that we were separated. But ever since that day, she's really had this fear of being separated from us. If we go to a store or if we're, wherever we're at, she's always right there. And it's amazing how things as a child will go with you the rest of your life. You carry those little fears with you all your life. This one person says this, his whole life, I've been horribly afraid of suffocating. When I was a baby, my mother had to buy all button and snap clothes because I had a tantrum if she tried to pull a shirt over my head. As an adult, I once crawled out of an MRI machine because I was so panicked. So, I think there's little things that happen to us. Sometimes they're unwarranted, but they tend to stick with us.
I used to be scared to be outside at night, and it's because of shows like The X-Files.
Yeah, right.
And I dreamed of that kind of stuff. One of the other most vivid dreams that I ever remember, that I was walking in the neighborhood, and there was this little green light, and I touched it, and then boom, like I got sucked into outer space. And it scared me. And I used to suffer from something called sleep paralysis. Have you ever heard of this? It's a real thing.
Yes, I have heard of that.
There are people, and I'm not discrediting people, but I guess I kind of am. I don't believe in abductions and all this kind of stuff that's out there. Some people do, and that's their thing. But here's the deal. Sleep paralysis is when your brain is still in a sleeping stage, but your eyes are open and you become aware of things around you. Have you ever heard stories of someone saying they were laying in bed and they saw this, or they said, and I'm talking adults, not children, but I'm talking adults. Have you ever heard?
Right.
And a friend of mine told me one time, he goes, yeah, this weird thing came into my room, and that can get down a whole weird road if we're not going to go down that. But what I've learned, because it's happened to me, and what it is sleep paralysis. And it finally helped me to understand. And it was the weirdest thing, Jason. And it usually happens right before you're about to fall back asleep or right before you wake up. And it is the scariest thing until you understand what it is. And once I understood what it was, I quit having it. I used to have it a lot up until probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I had a family member once experiencing me doing it because I thought there was something wrong with me.
Couldn't move, huh?
I couldn't move and I couldn't speak. When I would try to talk, it'd be like, it was weird.
Wow.
The weirdest thing. And maybe that's why I had the sleep problems I have now. But it was so strange because I remember like you and I, as clear as day, talking right now, but my brain was still asleep even though I could see things. And your brain has a trigger mechanism, a defense mechanism, and there's some part of your brain that is the fear part of your brain. And because your body and your brain doesn't know how to react to your eyes being open while you're still asleep, that fear gets triggered, and so your brain starts imprinting images of things.
Wow.
And that's what I read about this, and it helped me to understand it more. But, man, it was so scary when I used to have that stuff.
I'm glad I don't have that.
And it happened. So if you ever see me like this, and I'm like, then you'll know what's going on, okay?
Yeah, you advanced in your old man syndrome.
We're here with Jason Bay. And look what else I have, my worry rock. Got my worry rock now. Hey, so you know what, the power of AI? Do you have any others like that?
No,
what was your fear, though? I didn't ask you. What was your fear?
I don't know. I mean, I think being alone probably was a fear of mine, just being apart from by myself. And not that I ever was really alone, but I think that was always a big fear. Like when I went to college, that was a big deal, just being by myself, not having my family there, and stuff like that. I think we underestimate that, of the fear of being alone. Loneliness is such a big deal, and I mean I still have that fear of being alone. Maybe that's why I have 10 children.
Could be. What I love about AI, and I never thought about using it for this, is all those weird dreams and things. Did you know I can now bring those to life?
Oh, really?
I've never been able to visually.
Yeah, imagination. It's wonderful.
I've never been able to visually see my fear come to life.
Yeah, no, that is it.
Man, look how scary that is. If I was a child, look at that.
Yeah.
And I told it do the shaggy rug on top, and it did. Look at that. It even did it. And that one, look, there's a piece of one that's been eaten down there, Jason.
Now what program is that, Rob?
It's ideogram. Ideogram. Doesn't that look real?
That's unbelievable.
There it is, man. Right there. I told it, give me a pet store, but instead of pets, make vicious-looking toilets with teeth and shaggy tops.
And it did.
And it kind of did.
This is exactly what your nightmare realized. So now when you go to the therapist, you can just take the picture.
Yeah. Rob, what's wrong with you?
Here it is. It's all explained. A picture's worth 1,000 words.
It's John. It's John. Oh,
for sure.
By the way, I won't go into this, but there's certain terms that people use associated with restrooms.
Right.
Go research who invented the toilet, and you'll find out why they call the toilet, why there's two things associated. Just do your own research. Come back and report to me.
I don't know. This is the place where people are getting all their news, Rob. I think you should do that for us.
That's definitely news you should not use. The guy who invented the toilet, go research his name, and you'll figure out a couple of things. We'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's news you can use for sure. It's leaving us short here, but hey, some homework.
Yeah. What else do you got? Was that any more news?
That's pretty much it. I mean, there's in Newsweek, there's Yellowstone tourist, there's a thermal pool in Yellowstone. By the way, when I was a kid, we went to Yellowstone National Park, and I've always dreamed of going back there. It's such a beautiful place. I love being outdoors and the environment and everything like that. I think it's that God speaks to you so powerfully just being outside and seeing all of God's creation. So I've always wanted to take the kids back there, but Newsweek published an article this week saying that there's a thermal pool there, and they call it Morning Glory, and it's known for like its deep blue hues, and you can look in it. It looks like the most purest water. Of course, you can't get into it because it's a thermal pool. It's very hot, but they've noticed the color of that blue changing over the years. It's becoming less blue, and it's becoming more and more yellow. And they've done some studies on it, and they figured out why. And the reason why is because people have been throwing coins in the pool over the years,
so
like a wishing well. And what it is that down at the bottom is causing a reaction to the natural elements of the pool, and it actually causes the pool to cool. And when the temperatures in the pool cool, it allows for more bacteria to grow, and it causes the water to be less clear and less blue. So it's an unfortunate event. One man actually went down and tried to clean it out, and they found thousands and thousands of coins down at the bottom. That's how that gave them the clue that this was what was happening. But they cleaned it out, but they said that the effects are irreversible. Just shows you what our impact has on the things around us.
So don't throw change in the pools.
Yeah,
Stop doing that.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Well, good news you can use today, Jason. Very important news you can use.
Yes, absolutely. And for you as well. I mean, this we're learning more and more about Rob every single day.
Yeah, may not want me to be on staff anymore over here. Like, oh, we got to go, buddy. Sorry. Head on back to Georgetown. I'll walk in one morning, there'll be like this boot on my desk.
No, this is awesome. I mean, we're unveiling. We're pulling back the layers like an onion, and we're getting to the core of all the things that make Rob who he is.
Getting through all that stank of that onion, getting back to the center of it. Well, let's take one final break. It is your final opportunity this morning to text in and text in to win. And all you got to do is text in the keyword cookies. By the way, cookies will be available at Walker County Federal Credit Union tomorrow. So go by there and get your cookies and tell them you heard about it here on Hello Huntsville. Hey, while you're there, set up an account as well. Don't cost anything to do that. So set up an account and take care of those folks as they take care of this community. That keyword cookies along with your name, you can win some money today. All you got to do is text in cookies along with your name on the Zero Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. Text in right now. Final opportunity to text to win today. We'll step aside. We'll take one final break. When we come back, what is it the day of? And today's impossible question. And we'll wrap it up on the other side. Stay with us. It is your show on this Thankful Thursday, brought to you by First Baptist Church, Huntsville.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Braylon, say this is Spirit Radio.
This is Spirit Radio.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
All right, friends, back at it here. If you pay for the premium service, $100 a month, you'll learn more about the toilet.
All right. Yes, there you go.
Yeah, it's $100 a month. You get the behind the scenes here on Good Morning Huntsville. Welcome back as we continue on. Hey, really important day today. We'll go back on this day in history. Jason, one of my favorite things to do, besides news you can use on Thursday. On this day, in 1774, Johnny Appleseed. You remember that little story growing up? Johnny Appleseed was born. Johnny, of course, gained his fame by traveling all over the country, scattering appleseed. Born John Chapman, Appleseed was considered an American pioneer and legend who planted apple seeds in the Ohio River Valley area, which is Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Perfect day today to give away an Apple iPhone, except I don't have one. I think they're garbage, so I'm not going to give one away today. On this date in 1777, British troops occupied Philadelphia during the American Revolution. You know, I'm taking a history class online now with the college class. I'm really enjoying it. Or government, not history, but government, learning more about our country's foundations. And it's kind of taken me back, 25 years to school and reliving some of these moments. And I love a lot of these days in history goes back to the foundation of our country. This one, though, again, British troops occupied Philadelphia during the American Revolution. Of course, the Phillies and the Eagles fans were so obnoxious they eventually left. You'll appreciate that as a Cowboys fan, right, Jason?
Well, they try to throw snowballs at Santa Claus, too, right?
It was. This date in 1789, Thomas Jefferson was appointed America's first Secretary of State. So pretty cool history going back there as well. A couple of other things here today. In 1960, the first of 4 Kennedy-Nixon debates took place, even though Nixon wanted to cancel them to deal with the country's problems at the time. I went back and I actually watched one of those debates, and Kennedy won primarily because in those debates, TV was still kind of an emerging thing, and Nixon, they said, I was researching this. It wasn't part of my college class, but you go down these rabbit holes sometimes, and I was researching. They said that Nixon looked very old in those debates.
I did. I was working with one of my kids on the same topic. It was I think it had to do with media and culture, and they used that as an example because at that time television was brand new, and that was one of the first debate that was actually televised. And they said that just what you said, that he looked old, and he was also sweating a whole lot during the debate, and that the visual effects of that really swayed the election, or helped sway the election.
I was researching John Connally last week, our former Texas governor, who was in the motorcade in Dallas when JFK was tragically assassinated. Of course, Connally got shot pretty seriously as well, but he made a recovery. He died in 93, and they had his funeral at a Methodist church in Austin, and somehow I found the video of that funeral service on C-SPAN. It's kind of weird to see the technology, because back then you probably thought, man, this is great video. Well, now you look at it and you're like, this is horrible video quality. But who was at that funeral? Richard Nixon was there. And I started researching more about Nixon, of course, the Watergate thing and all that. But then you go back and look at that funeral when he was there at John Connally's funeral service. And then only a year later, he would pass away. Ended up having a stroke and died. And I started thinking about, we never know when our time is, and just how fragile life is, Jason.
It is so fragile. You never know what the next moment holds. And that's why we need to make sure our life's right with the Lord, first of all. And then second of all, make sure you're taking advantage of every opportunity. Make sure you're taking advantage of every opportunity. Keep your priorities in order. You can't get time back.
Today is National Compliance Officer Day today, National Situational Awareness Day.
Look over your shoulder day.
Look over your shoulder at Michelle. Michelle, what are you doing over there? It's also National Dumpling Day today. So I want to give a shout out to Garrick Long, Billy Cawthon, and Rick Boning. We're considered the dumplings here in Huntsville.
Oh, all right.
So Michelle, on social media today, I'm serious about this. You need to make this one of your projects. Michelle does an awesome. If you haven't noticed, our social media on Hello Huntsville has been through the roof thanks to Michelle. Find a picture of each of us and put Happy National Dumpling Day and put from our dumpling gang to yours, Happy National Dumpling. I'm serious about this. It's Dumpling Gang. Dumpling today is it. National Dumpling Day. Also, National Pancake Day. Boy, IHOP better be given away. You ever go to IHOP?
Yes, I do.
We love IHOP.
You know, Kim and I were talking about this the other day. We go to what is pancakes basically? It's basically a piece of bread with a whole bunch of sugar on it, right? Syrup poured all over it. And we'll say, you know what I'm going to have tonight for dinner? I'm going to have pancakes. That's what I'm going to have. But we would never say, you know what I'm going to have tonight? I'm going to go to the donut store and eat every donut they have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's basically the same thing. I mean, the donut's fried and the pancake's not, but, you know, it's basically sugar and bread. And, you know, but in America, that's just totally acceptable. We're just going to make for dinner sugar and bread.
Daddy, what are we going to have to eat? How about 17 donuts, strawberry with glaze?
This is woohoo!
National Johnny Appleseed Day. It's also National Shamu the Well Day. Did y'all ever take a family trip down to SeaWorld?
We did. We went down there and took advantage of all that.
Serena Williams turns 43 today. That's hard to believe. Serena Williams, 43 today. So that is just crazy to think about. You know, folks that are... Sometimes I got to be careful. I start getting depressed when I start hearing these ages of people. You know, it's just
See, here we go.
You're exactly right, man. Oh, man, yeah. A couple of other things here. 9.63 million viewers. I was not one of them. Did not, because I just don't even pay attention to this kind of stuff. I knew that he took over Ryan Seacrest when he took over co-hosting duties of the season premiere of Wheel of Fortune. The show drew an average audience of 8.31 million during its first week. Pat Sajak's final episode as host, 11 million people.
I've heard about this. I haven't watched it either, but I heard they're really trying to change it up a little bit, make it more edgy and more
trendy.
Yeah, trying to cool it up.
Let's wear some jeans with holes in it and have cool necklaces. Trendy, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, and it's like super fast and but I don't know. I haven't watched it, so I can't comment on it. But
I think any of those comments I just made probably weren't trendy at all. That's like old school trends. I'm trying to fit in, Jason. It's just, see, there we go again, right? Is that it again?
I told you, we're marking this date down.
A new study claims that doing just 20 seconds of meditation each day will significantly reduce stress, increase kindness to the participant, and improve your mental well-being. Just 20 seconds.
Yeah, so I say take that meditation to the next level and just pray.
That's right. That's what I say, yeah. I 100% agree. A couple of other things here. Man, oh my goodness! Did you ever watch Extreme Makeover Home Edition? I used to like that show.
Yeah.
Well, their star Eduardo Zoll. I remember him. Not the main guy, but there was a guy named Eduardo Zoll in there. He has died a week after being stabbed. Pretty tragic news there. This happened in Palm Springs, California. He passed away Thursday afternoon, September the 19th, at Desert Regional Medical Center. Pretty tough there. A couple of other things here. A court. You know, Alex Jones, I don't get political, but I will bring this up. You know, Alex Jones has the show InfoWars, and, you know, he got sued for that. His empire can be auctioned off, the court rules, to help pay families of the Sandy Hook mass shooting victims, the defamation awards he owes them. You know, I brought this up because that was such a tragic event, and I met a guy whose child went to Sandy Hook, and you know, thankfully his child was okay during that. But Jason, you know, just as a parent, I've got family in Uvalde, and as a parent, it's just unimaginable to think that is the kind of evil that we have in our country today. And I think that's why it's so important that we hold true to the values of what we believe in a relationship with the Lord. But man, just evil exists at every corner, and we have to be mindful. And situational awareness, we've got to be aware of our surroundings.
And I think one of the things that we as people need to be aware of is we need to be involved in our public school system. We need to take interest in the lives of our children by being involved in the public school system. Teachers, I read an article, I think I shared it with us last week, but in Texas, a third of the teachers that are now employed by the school district in Houston are not registered teachers. Why do you think that is? Because no one wants to go into this profession anymore. You know, there's fewer and fewer teachers for these schools to hire and get. And it just shows you there needs to be radical change in our school districts, but that's only going to happen whenever we as people get involved in our schools. When churches partner with schools and say, hey, we're here to help you. We want to help you. We don't want to judge you. We don't want to criticize you. We just want to come alongside of you and be a help and be an asset to help, because this is vital. As you see what's going on in our schools. I mean, you're going there today. And I think it's so important that we take a vital interest, and it's real easy just to say, hey, you know, I'm going to take my kids out but we need to be involved in our schools to make a difference for the next generation, for kids that can't afford private school or whose parents can't stay home and homeschool them. I mean, we need to make sure we're investing in the next generation, and some of that is just getting involved and knowing what's going on.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it is. I did want to highlight this. I'm wearing this shirt today. When you see me on Thursday sometime, this is our volunteer shirt for Samuel Walker Houston Elementary School. And it's not just our church. Churches from all over the city partner with Huntsville ISD.
Right.
Something as simple as going into an elementary school, and it's Adopt a School program for us, and what we do, we go in during lunch, usually from 10 o'clock till about 11:45, and we just help children with tasks that I would have never thought about this. Think of a pre-K and a kindergartner. What do they need help with at lunch? Opening milk cartons, opening up their banana, opening packages, giving them a plasticware and napkins. And so we go in, just that really small, little tiny token. You never know what difference that's going to make, not only with those children, but the teachers. I love going in there and talking to those cafeteria workers. They work so hard, especially at that school with the changes. Now they're seeing an influx of 100 or 200 more children with the same amount of staff. So you know that there's a lot of pressure on them to get, and they do such a great job getting that food out there. The district's done a really good job, providing the resources that they need. But I've sitting down and talking to some of these children, we don't go into these deep conversations, obviously, but we just help them. But some of the kids want to talk to you. And there's a little boy that every Thursday now, and we came up with a joke about what is your best friend's favorite food. And so I said, well, you ask your best friend what his favorite food is, and that's what his nickname is. And he goes, so what if my best friend's name's Ketchup? Then you say, what's up, Ketchup? And so now when he sees me, he always comes up to me and goes, what's up, Ketchup? But that little thing, you never know what that's going to do to a child.
Little acts of kindness go a long, long way. And some of these kids, all they need is just they're searching so desperately for someone that just cares a little bit about them. And I think we as a community, we as churches, we as Christians, we need to take a vital interest in our schools and get involved and be those people that are going to be there to support the administration. It's really easy to stay on the outside and throw rocks, but we need people to get involved and help, not be just a critic all the time. Get involved and help.
That's right. I always said if you don't have a solution, don't address the problem. You got to have a solution when you talk to somebody. Let's switch gears. Food news real quick. You got a few more minutes, Jason?
Yeah.
Food news. Man, I just love this. This is always my favorite when they got food news on my list.
All right.
How about this? Ruffles is bringing back their all-dressed flavor to stores for a limited time. It's a blend of ketchup, barbecue sauce, sour cream, and onion, salt, and vinegar, all in a single, as my friends in Fargo would say, bag. All in a single bag, Jason. Does that sound like something you'd like?
Sounds awful.
It sounds like absolutely not.
It's bad enough to have a potato chip fried in there, and then you have to spray it with some sort of chemical just to be able to choke it down.
Not here, but in the United Kingdom, McDonald's in Britain, they're starting to offer mini hash browns, so you can have some, but not as many as you usually do. All that's going to do is say, let me get 5 minis to make up the whole, right? Pretty smart, trying to make a little more. New at Starbucks, pecan crunch oatmeal latte. Ugh. Oat milk? No, it doesn't. Michelle over here, we need to get a microphone on her. She's like, oh, man, that's great. Michelle, that sounds terrible. Pecan crunch oat milk latte? That's You know, when I go to Starbucks, I just want to address this. I'm not into their trendy trends over there. They're trendy.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Again. You're so right about this. I'm just not. When I go into Starbucks, which I very rarely go.
I want just black coffee. Can't I just get a pot of black coffee? Go ahead, Rob.
When I go, I tell them, they're like, would that be venti? I'm like, no, it's small.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Quit using these words that I don't understand. I want to see. I don't even smallest. I don't even know what. Just give me the smallest one, and they'll correct me. Well, sir, that's tall. No, it's not. It's small. You're confusing me. My brain doesn't fire on these cylinders. By the way, lower your prices. And here's one other thing. If you're gonna tip, okay. Let me just pause real quick. Take a deep breath. If you work at a place and you want to tip, earn the tip first. And secondly, don't be passive-aggressive about it. Don't put a tablet in my face and say, answer the questions on the screen, sir. You know what? If I was a barista, is that what it's called, a barista?
Yeah.
Or a barista, whatever it is, barista?
I don't think, just outside looking in, I don't think your potential as a barista
Yeah,
you'd have to get maybe some
swag,
new clothes, and maybe a couple of piercings,
a haircut. No, I let my hair grow out. No, so here's the deal. If you're gonna just be blunt and say, like, if I worked there, I'd say, like, sir, I hope I provided you great service. If I did, would you mind giving me a tip? Just ask for it. Don't be passive aggressive and say, would you fill out the thing on the screen?
That's what everywhere you go nowadays. I mean, you can't go anywhere without asking for a tip. And I understand these people that are servers, they need.
Yeah, because they're not making much.
They're not making much, but why don't the business pay the people what they're due?
There you go.
Yeah.
In Europe, tipping not a thing. By the way,
I know. Sounds awesome.
I learned. You know who I learned that from? The what's the Chevy Chase movies? The one where they go to the Lampoon movies. There's the European Vacation. That's where I learned that. Research it. It's true.
Yeah, it's almost an insult, by the way.
Finally, the iconic fast food frozen food company Schwann's. We mentioned this the other day, closing down. After 72 years, they've tried switching their names to Yellow, but it turned into Uh-Oh, and it never caught on. So you can still order food through November the 8th, but the employees will remain on the payroll until November 22nd. Here we go again. I'm so sad to see Schwann's leaving. That was my favorite growing up. And Bridget and I ordered from it all the time.
Yeah, we did too. We ordered from it probably about 10 years ago, and we love to order from them. But I heard also that Tupperware filed bankruptcy. Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, remember the old Tupperware parties and all that? No more. They're about to go under. But
you go on Amazon and say plastic tub, and you get it the next day.
That's exactly right. That's the reason, is that you can get it. So it used to be like home to home, person to person type sales, but all that kind of is like the dinosaur.
You walk in, ooh, she's got some Tupperware. Tupperware. They must have had a Tupperware party, Jason. Finally, today's impossible question. And we'll read this, think about it, and then I've got a couple of did you knows, and we'll wrap it up. A new study. Now, you're going to like this one because I don't agree with the answer to this at all, because you and I know the real answer to this question. So think of it what do you think that the general public or outside of a relationship with the Lord, what do you think the answer to this is?
All right, let's hear it.
A new study says this is the most important factor in having a fulfilled life. Again, as a Christian, we know that is Jesus Christ. Yeah. Outside of that, what do you think people would say? So outside of having a relationship with the Lord, I believe that's the number one factor.
Well, I would say money, probably, and it probably is money, but they probably didn't want to answer money, so they probably answered like quality time or something like that with family or something like that.
May have mentioned Starbucks. You never know. You never know. We'll get back to that in a minute. Audience, answer that question. A new study says this is the most important factor to having a fulfilled life. What is it? Put your thoughts on there of what you think it is. We'll get to those in just a few moments. A couple of did you knows. The average person gets a perfect night's sleep about 130 times a year. Well, I've never heard of that.
They're outnumbering me, and you've already told us your condition. So
the average,
that's not you.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know what a perfect night's sleep looks like. The average person will say thank you about 5 times today. 5 times today they'll say thank you.
Thanks.
I think we need to do more of that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, thank you for
yes,
acknowledging.
ma'am, and no, sir. That used to be a thing too.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Jason. I've
already got Rob. Thank you.
You've already got my quota in today. 50% of us have an air freshener in our vehicle, even though it doesn't work anymore. 2 right now in my truck.
I got one in mine right now.
Michelle's raising her hand. Michelle, you got one? Yeah. So we got that. Survey. Let's say 5% of us have never given to charity during the holidays. 5% of us never given to charity. A couple of other things here. There are 2 jobs where 95% of the workforce is female. 2 jobs where they're female. One is a kindergarten teacher. The other, guess what it is? And this is so true. I've never thought about this, but it makes sense.
I don't know.
Wouldn't be a nurse. I know a lot of male nurses. Dental hygienist. I have never met a male dental hygienist as I've went to the dentist. Never have. 95%. 27% of women wish their man would do this. The household chore of vacuuming. So men, get out the vacuum. The number of high school students that drive has decreased by 15% over the last 5 years. Why is that?
I've noticed that. I don't know. The kids aren't get their driver's license as early. We couldn't wait till we were 16 to get the driver's license. Yes, and now kids wait till they're 17, 18 to get their driver's license, and I don't know why that is. Why kids wait longer to drive? Maybe it's because of the connection with the internet and things like that. That
they're not getting out as much. Maybe
they have relations through the computer, and you used to, if you wanted to have a friend over to play a video game. I mean, we had video games growing up, but you had to go to their house. Nowadays, it's all online.
Yeah, it's good comment. Couple of last things here. I'll get to this one I'm laughing about. Just say, when blowing out, this one's serious. When blowing out birthday candles, 1 in every 4 women said that they've wished for more time with their husbands. Wow, more time. So men, make sure you're there. You told me, you said, Rob, you need to really focus on a few things and make sure that you're spending time with your family. And I appreciate that. Everybody needs to make sure that they're there for their family and not get so inundated with the daily routines of life. Now, here's the one that really stood out. Now, Jason, I don't know if you want to admit to this one or not. I don't know if no, I definitely have. I definitely have not. Now, as a joke with my wife, yes, I have. As a joke.
All right.
45% of men have tried on women's clothing while at home alone.
My goodness.
Now, one time Bridget had a T-shirt or like a dress, and I was joking around with her, and I was like, check this thing. I was like, what are you doing? So yes, I have tried that one. She probably doesn't even remember, and thank God she doesn't. So, all right, there you go. That is some things there, Jason. That's how. I can't believe these kids nowadays trying on their clothing. A new study says this is the most important factor having a fulfilled life. As Christians, we know that's in a relationship with Jesus Christ. But what is it? A couple of folks have said a couple of things, and this is good. Paula Springer says love and time with family and friends. Steph Valley says spending time with family. The majority said having a job you like. Having a job you like was one of the most fulfilled things. So there you go. I believe it's having a relationship with the Lord. If you have a relationship with Him, everything else, even when it doesn't make sense, will make sense.
Yeah, and I think like even your job, I think that is important. But the Bible says that whatever we do it as unto the Lord. And I think if you have a purpose in that job and you feel like you're whatever you're doing it as unto the Lord, it can have fulfillment in everything that you do.
All right. Well, that will wrap it up here on this edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Before we go, check out the winner. We're not calling her, but Grace Wakefield waking up with us today. I know that she helps out our friend Leah Lineback with Sweet Caroline's Floral Shop. And today, the winner, Grace Wakefield.
Congratulations.
We got a little cash coming your way today. So, Jason, thank you, man. It's been fun hanging out.
Yeah, it's been great.
And we got to get rolling, so.
Busy day.
Sunday. What's happening Sunday? Give us a quick rundown Sunday.
We're continuing our series on the Beatitudes. Come and be a part of it. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
There's one other thing that I wanted to highlight. I know we got to go, but I did want to mention this. 40 days of prayer. This is just a really awesome opportunity for folks all across this community here at First Baptist, helping to get the word out and lead the charge on this, partnering with our friends at 40 Days USA. Can you give us a quick rundown of what this is and when it starts?
Yeah, well, just leading up to the election, and regardless of what party you're affiliated with, our goal is to pray for our nation and to pray for the people that are placed in leadership. And we can do that by coming together and praying. And each day we're going to be, I know Rob's got some specific prayers that are going to be listed on Spirit FM radio, so be sure to listen to those prayers. Some of them will be included in this show. It starts tomorrow, and if you'd like to be a part of that, to get an email each day just to remind you of some specific things to pray for that day for the next 40 days, we'd invite you to join with us as we commit to praying for the next 40 days for these specific things. Tell them how they can be a part of this, Rob.
Yeah, just put it up on the screen. For those of you listening on Spirit Radio, you can go to the website 40daysofprayer.substack.com. That's 40 days, the number 40, daysofprayer.substack.com. And starting tomorrow, every single day leading up to Election Day, you're going to receive a daily prayer in your inbox of how to pray for our country and our nation. It's nonpartisan. It's not affiliated with any political organization. It's just putting our trust in the Lord, and that is where our trust needs to go. I love, I heard a pastor a while back. He did a sermon on who should I vote for, and he said, you know what? You should, number one, keep God first.
Well, and whoever's in the White House, we know who's on the throne, you know. And that's what really matters, is that God's in control, and we need to remember that. And if we put him first in our homes, and we put him first in our schools, and we put him first in our communities, guess what's going to happen? He's going to be first in our nation. It starts in the home.
Amen. Well, hey, we'd love to see you on Sunday. Come join us, 9:30 Bible study service at 10:45. First Baptist is a harbor of hope in this community. Doesn't matter what you've been through. Doesn't matter where you're going, where you're headed. We would love for you to be here, and we want to include you as part of our family. We'll welcome you in. We won't embarrass you. We won't make you stand up and say anything. Just come and be loved. That's what we do here at First. Jason, thank you. Been fun today, man.
God bless you, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, that'll wrap it up here on a Thankful Thursday. We'll be back at it tomorrow as we close out the week. Be sure to join us for the Restaurant Report with Billy Cawthon and our friends from Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. As I end every single broadcast reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Till tomorrow morning, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you back at it tomorrow. See you, Jason.
God bless you.
Where do we place our hope? We believe our hope is not in the media, government, or people, but that our hope is in God. Join the National Day of Prayer Task Force, One Cry, Intercessors for America and others, as we come together to once again declare that it is in God we trust and to pray for our nation in the days leading up to the national election. Go to 40daysusa.com to sign up and get our prayer guide and other free resources. That's 40daysusa.com.